tutorial for your own shirt like this. If you have any knowledge of sewing whatsoever, you can do this because I'm not a professional in any way. Sorry it took so long, but here I'm gonna try to do a more simple tutorial so you can see how this is done. I got this t-shirt from Temu. They have a really good selection of band shirts to pick from, and they're really reasonably priced. This one's an extra large. I just always like to get the bigger shirts for t-shirts because that's the way I like them. I got this material from Amazon. This is a silky satiny material, but I think a good linen type material would work good too. This is 1 meter of fabric, which is 1.09 yards. So that's about what you need. And I'll show you how to do it. First of all, you're going to want to cut all the way down from about right here. So leave, just a little bit of space right here. Pretty similar to the other side. I'm going to go ahead and fold it over. I'm going to cut this side too. So this is what we're starting with here. See, it's completely open on the sides, all the way up. So for the fabric on the side, you're going to want, this is going to need to be able to fold in half and be the length of the shirt. So this will be the side I'll be cutting because this is doubled over. This, again, does not have to be perfect on both sides right now because you're going to cut some of it off anyway. So I'm going to cut right down the middle. So now this side's going to go here. Then this one will be on the other side. Like that. This is okay. This is a little bit longer. We're going to trim that off as well after we fold it under to sew into the t-shirt. The way you're going to sew this is you're going to open up the side of the t-shirt that you're doing first, and you're just going to put the material up against the t-shirt, and you're going to sew it the full length of both sides. Because of the colors, you can probably use many different thread colors. I do not have anything close to this, so I'm going to use the yellow. So this is how it looks. I've got this in my sewing machine. I've got the two outside edges facing each other, and we're going to sew all the way down the edge. I'm doing 2 rows of stitches just to reinforce. So here's what it looks like with one side sewn on. So I'm going to do the other side. Having to stop to refill my bobbin. Once I get both sides sewn up, I'm going to go ahead and put it on and see what I think about the length. Because I would not wear these shorts with it. This is just what I happen to have on. So I think the length will be fine. What I'm going to do now is just kind of fold this over and sew like that all the way around the bottom so it makes it nice and uniform there. So let's do that. Since I will be folding this over like this, I'm going to go ahead and trim this so it'll be a more even line that I'll be sewing. So I've got those trimmed off so it's a more straight edge on the bottom. I'm going to do it on the other side as well. So I'm going to start right at the fold here so that I can try to make sure that I'm sewing the same amount. And just sew all the way down the end and like lean. But now I'm going to come in and fold over the t-shirt part and sew that. The reason I did both sides of the satin fabric first, it's just slippery and harder to deal with when you're sewing, so I always do this part last. So I have the bottom edges done. So now I'm going to go to the side and fold it over and make a smooth edge on the sleeve. This is me sewing the sleeve sides. I just do a little fold over and sew them. Now, if I was a perfectionist, but I'm not, I'm an amateur, I would probably iron these down, make it easier, but I'm making these for myself, so I don't really stress about that too much. We are almost done, so I've put this back on because this is going to be easier to explain this part. You're not going to sew anything on the bottom. This is going to remain open, this whole area right here. This is what makes this shirt fit small to 2X, maybe even more. So all I'm going to be sewing is the sleeve part right here, about this much of the sleeve. So let's get that, and then we'll see what the finished product looks like. Here's how the sleeves look. So there's just a little opening there, and this part is sewn. The whole bottom part is open. I've got it front tucked. This is the final look. Super simple. Like I said, I'm not a seamstress. I do baby blankets, I do alterations, and I can do this. Another look at the two that I've made. This is the one that I just made today, and this is my previous one that I made. You can do it.